Hello, we have new merch.
Oh my God! Hey, what does that? What does that say? What does that say?
What are you, illiterate? It says in the pit we're all allies. That's sick. Where'd you get that, Philip?
Shop.pitpodcast.com.
Oh my god, that's awesome. Looks really good.
It's all good.
Oh, I can't
Wow.
wait. Can't
I
wait
got
for
banned.
that.
I got
the further
banned from there.
variations of it. Oh my god, Jason. What are you doing here?
Oh, hey, what's up, man?
Hey! Stock Fibula!
Is that like 5 episodes ago at this point?
Welcome back, Pit Crew. It's another episode of Pit Podcast. Today we have an awesome guest for us. He's an alumni of the 2022 World Champions 3175 Night Vision, current mentor for 3357 Comets, chronically online staff member for the FIM Discord, and the only one who can get a Sean to stop yapping. We have Anthony Galea. Round of applause, everybody, for Anthony.
I don't know why I gave myself claps. But
You couldn't memorize that? You had notes for that?
He's got a big resume.
That was a lot of passion behind that. So that was for you. That was for you.
yeah,
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Nathan's never good. I'm doing well, though.
He's doing. I'm surprised you're in this side of the town now. I thought you were in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, no. So I live in Grand Rapids right now. Mostly because my old job required me to be there for work. But visiting my family right now. Memorial Day weekend. This is recorded. Memorial Day weekend, and my sister's birthday was the past week. So
Happy
okay.
birthday.
Happy belated birthday to her.
yeah.
Happy
So-
birthday to you.
I know you're not going to watch this, Lara. But
She's not into robotics.
No, she did it her senior year. Her senior year was 2020. And Night Vision did a very short-lived program where you could sign up to literally just be a scout for Night Vision at events, and you would get out of school and just come scout, so that we had more scouts, so that we had more breaks for people during the competition.
Huh.
That's cool.
But yeah, she did that our senior year. But no, like, and like, if you go to some off-season events, she'll show up sometimes. Like, especially if Brandon Queen's there, or like, or Lily. Like Goonets. You'll see my sister probably at Goonets because she'll basically be bored on a weekend. She'll just.
Oh, they're friends.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I thought.
Okay, well, this interview isn't about her, it's about you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Can you give us some background on how you got into first and what you're doing now?
Yeah, so back in 2010, my mom got a job at like the school that Night Vision's based out of, and they're like, "Yeah, we're starting a rookie FRC team." And like I didn't know what was going on. I was some middle schooler, like I was 6th grade, and they asked her to be the assistant coach. And then like right before the first event, the head coach took a job in Pittsburgh and just up and left and just basically dumped the team on my mom. And
I hate when that happens.
yeah. And she essentially has been running with it ever since. And for me, it meant that like I went to their second event ever, which was the 2010 Detroit district, which was at Wayne State. It's the same venue where the Wayne State district's held now. And for any old people that were were at that event, they know of the Hot Wings Express, which was Hot 51 and Bedford Express were on the winning alliance at that event.
Hot Wings Express.
Yeah, so that was like the thing that everyone was saying at that event. It was like, oh, it's the Hot Wings Express on the number one alliance.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I went to that and I was hooked, even though like we'll get to this later probably, but I think 2010 was not a good game. But I had these like nostalgia glasses for it for the longest time, and Night Vision actually made states that year because back then Rookie All-Star qualified you for states. It was an auto qualify for states, and I was like, I want to go. Like I was like an 11-year-old, and I was like, you could get out of school for a couple days to go to states at Eastern Michigan.
Oh, nice.
So I went and I just like going around collecting I was like that little kid, like going around collecting all the buttons. They had a thing where in 2010 they had a thing where every team could send one representative to they got to get everyone together. We sang the national anthem. So there's a picture out there. I can actually send it if you guys want to
absolutely,
split screen it like right
It'll be
here.
right
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, like right
Right
here.
there.
There's a picture of me, like 11-year-old sitting on the field, like ready to sing the national anthem
Oh, that's cool.
with like a bunch of people from other teams. So that was pretty cool. But like ever since then, I was super hooked. I wanted to go to events. And then my freshman year was 2013. Joined Night Vision, and I was a like build member throughout my whole high school career. 2016 was my senior year with Stronghold. And yeah, went to college for 2 years, came home, uh, and transferred to Saginaw Valley. And I started mentoring again. What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
He loves Saginaw Valley.
It's a great. No, it's a good school. It's a good school.
It's a great school, right?
Good
Jason?
venue. Good venue.
Good venue, he says.
Anyway, continue.
But yeah, so in 2019 I started mentoring the team again, and then after 2022, I actually moved to Traverse City for a year. Lived with my grandparents after graduating college. Moved down to Grand Rapids, and then after the 2023 season, I was like, going to Night Vision's events, which is like 2.5 to 3 hours away from where I'm living. It's not really the most sustainable thing for me. So I went up and joined Comets. They were looking for a strategy and scouting mentor, which was like exactly what I was doing with Night Vision at the time. Mainly because I wasn't in mechanical engineering anymore, like because I started mechanical engineering, switched to computer science, and yeah, um, and like I've been mentoring Comets ever since. And although I still like will offer some support to Night Vision from time to time,
Yeah.
so
Cool.
That's cool.
yeah.
Okay, didn't you also help Night Vision as well for this season, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I like we have a group thread on the team Slack where it's basically all the alumni and the leads basically, and basically the leads will then become the alumni that also help. So like whenever so you got like Cooper, who is the driver in 2022, and like the lead in 2022, and then like a few other alumni, and then the current leads of the team, where like that's where like a lot of like discussion, they'll use this as a sounding board, like being like, yeah, like what do you guys think of this idea, like are we being like goofy or anything like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I help out that, and then this year at Worlds I helped them out when Comets unfortunately failed to qualify. So yeah, I had already booked tickets because it was getting to a point where the flight tickets prices were about to go up,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm gonna book my ticket. I'm sure one of Night Vision or Comets will qualify.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Nice. Well, it seems that Night Vision, given that there's a lot of support for that team, and
Yeah.
I'm sure that they attribute that with their recent successes here. So I just want to quickly ask then, how did Night Vision get so good? Because I remember back when I was on Gearheads, I'm not gonna lie, there was a running joke that Night Vision was a fun,
Are
a
you guys
fun.
rival schools or something?
yeah,
Yeah, we're right next to each other,
So-
right? Yeah.
Context.
Chris is being
yeah.
like, this fucking team. These guys suck.
Got it.
Gearheads is Grosse Pointe North and South, and Liggett is Liggett, which is the private school in Grosse Pointe. So
private school.
Private school, yeah.
So why aren't you better?
yeah, you got 2 schools to draw from.
Yeah,
Nah,
we
I'm
got
just
2
kidding, I'm just
schools.
kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're trying.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not really that much different. We both get to be third bots of poops on Einstein. Like, I thought they should have put you guys in.
That's what I
but
said,
yeah,
yeah, but-
I was saying, when you go, but if you're poops and you're on Einstein, you're down. You lose when you lose your first match. You got to put in the Grosse Pointe team.
Like,
It's a formula that worked.
cheap.
I mean,
2
it worked
years
for you
earlier.
guys. I don't understand what was different with us. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why they didn't.
Yeah.
That's why it didn't turn out.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like,
That's
they
great.
just had to put in gearheads, and I think they would have won. They would have won their 6th championship, and yeah,
They
Grosse
threw
Pointe
it.
would have won their second.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like next year that means Bot Masters is going to
Right, Bot
Bot
Masters
Masters
come in
is going
and
to
win the blue-
Einstein with Poofs next year.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says Bot Masters is the only other Grosse Pointe team. So
For now.
For
yeah,
now.
for now.
For
Yeah,
now. For now.
Division B team, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Night
yeah.
Squires.
David.
Well, there was talk after 2022 because we did have a large number of new students. There was talk of starting a second team,
Really?
and calling either like the Rookies because like knights and like rooks and chess, or like
I like
Squire
it.
Sight or something like
Yeah.
that. But like it ended up not happening, and
How
yeah.
many kids
Yeah.
do they have?
Right now it's about like 20. In 2023, they start out the season with like 35, between 35 and 40.
Yeah.
And it was just you got the kids that like join because they're like, wow, this team won worlds. Like
Oh, okay.
and then they're like, well, this isn't for me. So like they ended up not sticking around. But yeah, but to actually answer your question, because you were saying like, because so in 2017 and 2018, they were kind of having some moments. But in 2018, if you talk to me enough, you'll see me post a picture of the scissor lift they built. But
That's where I remember you from. The scissor lift.
yes, in
Yeah,
2018
okay.
we had the scissor lift. It was very bad.
Your night vision was at Livonia, right?
That was 2017.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
2017.
remember.
It was they won Livonia with Hackbots and Big Mo.
Yeah.
And 2018 they had a scissor lift at Centerline.
Yup.
Nothing goes wrong there.
Chris is
Yeah.
like, yeah, I remember
Well,
that.
so because I'm out bounding my business in college, and I get a video of scissor lift testing.
Oh god.
And you're like,
And
God.
I straight up I text the current people and they're like, what is going on and why are you building a scissor lift? And like it's still a running joke on our team. It actually, like, this year at West Michigan Comets, we picked as a for our third bot at West Michigan, we picked a team that was a scissor lift. And the current, like, the alumni and seniors on Night Vision gave me crap. They're like, you can't get away from the scissor lift, can you?
That's funny.
Yeah. But anyways, when because I came back in 2019, and one thing was there was very much a lot of chaos when it came to designing the robots. It was very much, oh, we're just gonna build something and see if it works. In 2019, started getting more towards a like structured, like, okay, we're gonna plan out our design. This is what we're gonna do. In 2019, we actually, like, we qualified for states, got picked at states for the first time. It was just a elevator with a wheeled intake for cargo. We had a hook for hatches. We never really used it. And then in 2020, we actually went to 2 events, actually. Like, we did week 1 and week 2.
Oh, god.
One of the few.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, we were one of the few teams that actually did 2 events in 2020.
Yeah.
However, like, at the time we were like, this was a terrible idea. We didn't have any time to improve on our design because there was no bag. That was the first year of no bags. We could have had
Right.
time to change the design and stuff like that. But honestly, in retrospect, 2020, because we were the third bot of Alliance 2 at our first event. It was like we tried to build too much. We had like this folding climber that, like, it folded to the robot so that we could go under the trench. We're like, let's do this like 2016 2056 climber that like unfolds, like, and we can climb. And we spent time tuning in a bunch of different shots, and it was like we tried to do too much in 2020.
Mhm.
And during the pandemic, we spent a lot of time just virtually talking about how are we going to like like we need to figure out what we're good at and what we're not good at. And the students of the team then entered so many catathons, like they because there was like a catathon every month
Yeah.
going on during the
Mhm.
pandemic because people had so much time on their hands.
Mhm.
And they and in 2021 when they did the at home challenges, uh they completely rebuilt, not completely, they rebuilt the robot because there was issues with, we had mechanic wheel intake that centered the balls and all that, and it was like, we're like, this is too complicated. So we had a full width intake that picked up the power cells, and we just had one shooting position. It was up against the wall, and when it was working, because we had electrical issues at our off seasons that year, it was actually pretty solid. And we learned that we need to, like, this is like also advice that could apply to some other teams. Some other teams, swallow the ego. You need to recognize what your limits and capabilities are, and build as best you can to those capabilities.
Mhm.
Uh, like
That's good advice.
yeah. Uh, one of like I know not everyone's a sports baseball fan. There's this movie Moneyball
Mhm.
where that I like to reference when talking about this. You're not gonna beat the Yankees by trying to be the Yankees. You got to find your
Mm.
own way to win. And like the analog is, you're not gonna beat Hot, the cheesy poofs, like Strike Force.
You know,
By
hot, right
trying
up
to-
there with the cheesy
Like,
food.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're not the cheesy poofs. Don't try and be the cheesy poofs. Uh so it's like building simple, building to what you can do. In 2022, on kickoff, we literally got together, and on the day of kickoff, we knew what our strategy was. Just like we all knew what our capabilities were. We're like, we're gonna build a fender shooter.
Yeah.
Means we don't have to focus on vision because we didn't have the programming capability to do vision. We had a single software programmer that like, she's great. Like if you've ever met Izzy, she's great. Like she's a huge reason that night vision was still good after 2022.
She's been your driver for the past couple of years too, right?
Not in 2025. She graduated in 2024.
Gotcha.
But
She's really good, yeah.
yes, she's
Mhm.
awesome. But we're like, she's learning swerve still. Like they had gotten it working in the off season. Like, we're doing swerve, but we want it to be, we go up against the fender, we shoot the cargo into the upper hub. We have one position, that's all we're shooting from, and we want to be able to pick it up and score it.
Yeah.
Another thing was our senior, our Cooper, who was our lead that year. He he was very inspired by the 973 and 2135 presentation invasion robots from Infinite Recharge. And specifically 2135, they just had a shooter the full width of the robot. They didn't care about shooting in inner port. They basically were like, we're taking the power cells, or we're getting rid of it.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
the robot took a lot of inspiration from that. And although it was like a double shooter, if you ever like look at the Night Vision 2022 robot, it was basically because we needed a support because the axle was like not stable in the center. The whole point though is like we didn't have an indexer, because the indexers are a pain to build.
Mhm.
So it's one less mechanism you have to build. And it was just the intake went straight into the feeder, went straight into the shooter, and we didn't care if it went into one side of the shooter, the other side of the shooter. We're basically just running it there. And we had that robot in a driving state. Like, it wasn't finished because the robot's never finished. You're always iterating. End of week 3 of build season that year. And our first event was week 2, which was Rochester. And we had like 5 weeks of drive practice.
Mhm.
And we showed up to Rochester, and that robot was ready to go. We didn't have to worry about vision tuning. We had autos ready to go. We had drive practice, and we got picked the highest we'd ever gotten picked because we understood what our capabilities were and we didn't try to do too much.
Yeah.
Then at Macomb we seeded 2. We ended up losing in quarterfinals due to some robot failures, but like we qualified for states. We did end up not doing as well as we hoped at states, but then we qualified for Worlds by the skin of our teeth for the first time ever. And then at Worlds, we literally when the divisions dropped, we took a look at the team list and like looked at like if you go to FRC divisions every year they have like the sort of like they have the team list and then you can sort by OPR like the best OPR you've gotten. And we were bot number 24 on our divisions list and went into Worlds. The goal was to get picked by Cheesy Poofs. We're like this is the goal. Like we get picked by Cheesy Poofs, try and win Worlds. Schedules dropped, and we're like, okay, we have a match with Cheesy Poofs. We have a match against Cheesy Poofs. So we have our match against with Cheesy Poofs first. And what I said to the students was, I don't care what they tell you, you do it. Like, if they want you to play defense, you do it. If they tell you to jump up and down, you jump up and down. But Cheesy Poofs were great, actually. The one thing was they had us do a system check before our match before theirs because they wanted to make sure that we were working before the match to see if there was anything that went wrong that they could help us with it before our match with them.
Interesting.
And then we had our match against them, and I was looking through our scouting data because I was like, because we were actually like pretty decently ranking at that point. I'm like, do we have to be an alliance captain? Like I don't know. And we have our match against Cheesy Poofs, and I was gonna say we had our scouting data, and it was showing us a little bit higher than like about 24. And I went up to Cooper, who was our driver, and I said to him, "Hey Cooper, so actually I'll get to this point after." I said, "Hey Cooper, do you want to scare the Cheesy Poofs into picking us?" And he just looks at me and goes like, "Hell yeah, I want to scare the Cheesy Poofs into picking us." So we were like, okay, we're playing defense this match. We had not gone into a quals match all year with the intention of playing defense. Like there was only like a couple matches that was like our intake broke or like something like that where we actually had to play defense. But it was our first time all year going into a match where we're like, okay, we're playing defense. And he just absolutely like went crazy in that match. If you ever go and want to watch that match, it was some great defensive driving. He held 254 to 12 cargo, which in that year was really good.
Yeah.
We actually almost won the match. Partially because they tried to do a triple climb and failed it. But it was great. And then we got picked by Cheesy Poofs, and we actually like learned a lot in terms of process. Like doing system checks before and after every match. Some like they got to get a close look at Up a Creek, and Cheesy Poofs, and they learned a lot in terms of design and stuff like that. It was just like and then going into we'll get back to talking about Einstein in a bit, but going into the next year, we're like, okay, we won Worlds, but we still need to understand what our capabilities are. And it's also going in like keeping that stuff in perspective. This is our capabilities, and I'm not saying you can never push your boundaries. I'm never saying that. Push your boundaries within reason. If you are if you are an 8 alliance first pick at your districts, don't try and be the 1 seed at your next year. Try and be like the 3-4 seed that's like you're not trying to do vision targeting, all this. Like if you have 2022, you're not doing a swerve turret that can shoot cargo in the upper hub all the time.
You're playing within your resources.
Yes.
You're playing within your limits. You stay in your lane. You don't don't reach for the stars too much, right?
Yes.
You just know what you've got, and you execute it to the best of your ability.
Right. And it's like that's also if your goal is to be that, like, to build that program to be that highly competitive program.
Mhm.
Like, if your goal is you want to just have fun building robots, go for it. I will never shame a team for doing that. Like, but it's more like trying to do too much and then claim it was the right decision
Mm.
in retrospect.
Mhm.
Do you have any teams that you think do a good job of that, of building within their boundaries?
Yes. So
Bot
973
Masters.
Greybots.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Greybots is a team I look up to a lot. It's a team that Night Vision looks up to a lot. In 2019, they won the world championship as the captain. They couldn't score on level 3 of the rocket.
Mhm.
Mm.
They understand their resources. They build very simple robots. I think that they build robots that pretty much any team could build.
Yeah.
2022 maybe not, because they had the turret. It was a really good turret, but it was also they only had tank that year. They didn't have swerve. Uh, they understand their resources. They build to them. Another team, like in Michigan lately, I'll give them a shout out. 9245 Laker Dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
Like I spent too much time around the 33 people.
Yeah.
But they, not even just this year, but last year too, they built very simple robots that didn't try and do too much. And this year they were the 5 Alliance captain in their division at Worlds. Like, and they were a simple elevator. They couldn't score level 4 of the reef this year. They couldn't score level 1 of the reef. They couldn't do anything with algae other than knock it off the reef.
Yeah.
And they won a district with 33. They at states they made like match 13 in their division as a first pick, or a captain. I think they were a
I
captain.
think they were captain.
Yeah, they were
They're
captain.
captain. Yeah.
Yeah. Like this year, that is the type of like thing where that's a team that team should be looking at and being like, why is this team kicking our butt that can't score on level 4 of the reef?
Mhm.
Like, and this is also like I said, it's from this is it trying to maximize competitiveness. Like I said, it's all depends on what the goals of your program are. Like, yeah.
From a scouting and strategy perspective, you see a 9,000 team like that do really, really good. How do you how do you know if it's real or not? No discredit to dreadnoughts or anything
Yeah.
like that, but like, stereotypes, near rookie team with a high number, right?
Yeah.
How do you figure out what stats do you look at? What's your process for figuring out if they're legit?
Yeah, so it depends on the year. So this year, I very much leaned on total cycles.
Mm.
The more game pieces you're putting up, the better. And there are some times where you can see that there are teams that do better at different levels than the others, and you can pick them to specialize in that. I talked about the scissor lift bot earlier. They were able to score on level 4, but it took them a lot longer to get up to level 4 to score it. But if you told them you're only scoring level 2 and level 3, they could put up like 8, 9 coral a match.
Yeah.
And as a third bot at a district, that is very good. Another, like, talk about like a higher number team in 2023. Like, we were just looking at basically pure total cycle count outside of like for our third bots, basically. 8426, which is automated amphibians. They were a swerve every bot.
Yep.
They were a middle school team at the time. I
Mhm.
think I think they might be high school now. Like, I'm not 100% sure. I think I saw that they were reclassified to be part of Novi High School.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But they were a middle school team, and we also had 8382, which was Pebbles of Kingsford, which was the middle school of 7154 The Rock. They were our
Mm.
third bot at Escanaba that year.
Good name. Good name.
uh, but we don't care about team number. At least I don't care about team number when it comes to stats. It's very much a thing of, are you good at what you're capable of? Are you going to like put up game pieces? Are you well driven? Like that one's a subjective one, but it's like a person who has more experience in FRC will be able to tell when a robot is well driven.
Mhm.
And you rely on your scouts for that. You rely on your if you have super scouts like where like that just do subjective ranking, that have that trained eye, that have done it for a while, you can tell who has good drivers, who has like unpracticed drivers, because you might want as a third bot a team that you can do in multiple roles. Like this year at Midland, I was watching Night Vision, and they had a third bot that was 5538 Viking bots.
Mhm.
They were actually, I think it was like 6th or 7th at the event in terms of total cycle count, but they were in every bot. But it was, but also you could tell from watching them. The driver has a good handle of the robot. It's well practiced. They have good spatial awareness of the field. And that's like and in my opinion, that was the big differentiator in that event, because you had Blitzkrieg and Evil Empire, who were both very good against Night Vision and Fabricators.
Yep.
Shout out World Finalist
Yeah.
Fabricators.
I was about to say, yeah.
But they both had very similar scoring capabilities. And this isn't to say anything negative about Blitzkrieg and Evil Empire's third robot. Viking Bots was just such a well-driven robot that I think that it made the difference for them at that event. Because they played defense on Evil Empire, and they were struggling under the defense. But to go back to scoring robots, sorry. They the looking at total cycle count, a lot of times also if you're watching a robot, you can tell like this robot's putting up these game pieces due to like in 2024. Like, is this robot getting fed, or is it they're like doing full cycles? Are they like there are some teams that had somewhat inflated stats because they're doing a cleanup role
Right.
sometimes.
Yeah, stat padding basically.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. And it's like it's a valid strategy to do the passing role in 2024. But yeah. Like it's just like being able to look at a team holistically, and the team number does not matter, in my opinion. It is very much what are you capable of. I don't care what your team did 3 years ago in terms of competitiveness. It's what are you doing now at this event? How are you going to help our team win the event?
Yeah.
2014 have more strategy than 2024.
That's a tough one, honestly. I feel like 2024 strategy didn't get fully explored.
Thank you.
Uh, so
That one's been sitting
so-
on my mind since episode whatever.
Oh
About the
my
Brandon
God.
thing.
So 2014 also didn't get fully explored. I thought like there was but it was also starting to get to a point where I think the game could have been broken. Not broken, but like strategically broken.
In what way?
So death cycles. Do you know what death cycles are?
No.
So death cycles in 2014. There was one alliance that did it at championships. In playoffs. It was 51, 1918, and Warlords from California or Washington. I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
San Diego.
And at 51, they didn't completely adhere to the strategy. I think there was one team that could have done the first roll, but basically the 3 robots sat in place and they just shot and just
Yep.
kept shooting between, and that was all they did. They didn't move. They didn't play defense. Basically, the ball goes in the robot, it goes across the truss, goes to that other robot, goes across the other human player. You toss it in the robot, and it scores. 1918 was perfect for that role.
Yep.
They literally sat in front of the thing, and they had a huge net.
It was
Uh-huh.
genius. It was
Yes,
awesome.
and it would go out, and it went right back into the goal. In 2024, I had my little pet strategy that I ran in 2 matches. We ran it with Gearheads with Comets.
Okay.
Against 6090 and Enigma, where you had one robot, and we had one robot that was designated to be the hybrid role. It was kind of similar to with the role the strategies that were kind of playing out on Einstein, where it was 2 offense, 1 defense. However, you have one robot that's playing defense that holds a note in their robot. And when your alliance is ready to amp, they literally just go shoot it and go back to playing defense to try and get that amp cycle finished as quickly as possible. Like we won that match. It was us, Gearheads, and Anaway Anabots, 55-34. And Anaway Anabots playing defense. And then both us and Gearheads would go cycle a note. Anaway Anabots would get a note during that time period. They go back to playing defense. We would start driving over. Gearheads would pass a note over and pick up another note. So there's 3 notes there, with Anaway Anabots holding 1 note, and they would peel and we would score all 4 in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And it was like that was my pet strategy. 33's Alliance at States actually also ran that without like I know I'm friends with like Eric and Merv and Nick. We actually didn't talk about this before then.
They're just copied.
Yeah.
You hold 2024 in like pretty high regards too.
Yes.
It's like
it's my favorite
it was
game.
your favorite game on your bracket challenge and all that. Yeah.
In 2024, I would say took the best elements of 2013 and the best elements of 2014 and combined them into a game. Like with the passing elements of 2014, relying on your partners. It was one of the most Alliance as a whole strategy games that we've had in a while. But
we have your bracket up here too.
Oh.
It doesn't look like 2013 fared so well though.
Yeah, 2013 just
over
like
2014.
So 2013 lost to Rapid React, and then it lost to 2014, which those two made it very, very deep.
Yeah.
And
makes sense. I can see why.
Yeah, basically it's like when you are playing in playoffs and you end up against the the best alliance at the event in the first round, and then the other alliance that you play in lower bracket just happened to get knocked down because the robot broke or something like that, and then you lose, and then those two are playing in the finals, and you're like, okay, so we went 0-2, but we're playing against both finalist teams. Like, it happens. But yeah,
why do you think that no Michigan teams can win Worlds without being second or third? Is the American auto industry just no match for Silicon Valley?
So it does kind of play into that. This does get into a little bit of like an economics perspective, I guess. It's that the coastal companies pay very, very well for software engineering. And the mentorship that you get from that software engineering is a lot higher quality on the coast, and I think that is the gap that Michigan struggles to make up.
Sure, we just lost Brittany. Brittany's going to California.
Yeah, exactly. As someone who is just doing a job search recently, there is not a lot of software engineering jobs in Michigan.
Yeah.
And you got out in specifically Silicon Valley, you've got Google with Waymo, you got a lot of autonomous vehicle stuff, and a lot of that plays directly into the theory of the software that you need to be competitive at that extremely high level. I also think this year was particularly unique in the fact that we had one elite team in Michigan that had a ground intake. That was Hot. No, sorry, 2. Sorry, Rush and Hot. And they were both in Curie. Which was, if you look at the stats, Curie was 5 on average. Curie was 5 EPA higher than the next best division. And I think that Rush and Hot could have both been division winners in other divisions. It was just that Curie was just so stacked. Lightning Robotics at 862 was 3rd robot of Alliance 2 in that division. And
that's crazy.
And they were insanely good this year. Alphabots 8608 unpicked in Curie. And it wasn't because they struggled. It was just such a competitive, tough division.
There's a lot of stereotypes too out there with Michigan. I'm hearing. I've only been to Worlds recently, once last year, but Jason's been more recently. But yeah, California takeover. But
Yeah.
that reminds me of a
Well,
couple of
I
rapid
like-
fire questions too.
Yeah. Okay.
If you want to run through those.
Yeah.
So I just had a couple of like, this or that
Yeah.
questions. We're gonna try to run through them as quick as possible. Just give like your first gut reaction if you want. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Charged up or Reefscape?
Reefscape.
Steamworks gear or Deep Space hatch panel?
Hatch panel.
West Coast products or Rev?
Team Thrifty.
Cascading or continuous elevator?
Continuous. I want to quickly say
Okay.
so. Continuous. The sounds that continuous elevators make are just so auditorily pleasing to
Yep.
me.
Fork had a really nice one this year.
Yes, like just listening to a continuous elevator go up and down
Like
is like a
Yep.
Yeah.
It's nice.
like yes, yeah.
Indestructible slapdown intake or bendy 4-bar intake?
Ooh, I'd say bendy, particularly because the compliance like allows for a lot more forgiveness, especially when it comes to like so in 2023 and 2024, Night Vision had rigid intakes and they had issues with the intakes breaking.
Mhm.
And well, not breaking, but like encoders losing 0. 2022, that intake was bulletproof. Like that thing took so much abuse and it never broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
FRC meme page or Fim Peter?
And Peter, a stock Fimalon.
First in Texas or first in California?
First in California.
Einstein or Fimstein?
I'm gonna go with Einstein.
Einstein.
However, I
Ah.
still like my one of my remaining FRC bucket list items is to make it to Fimstein with a team.
Yeah.
Like
All
Yeah.
of us.
Yeah.
All of us, yeah.
Houston or St. Louis?
St. Louis.
Tank with Krakens or Swerve with Mini Sim?
Oh, tank with Krakens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Chezzy Champs or IRI?
Chezzy Champs.
Chezzy Champs or Title Tumble?
Chezzy Champs.
Chezzy Champs
States?
or Kettering Kickoff.
I mean,
Do you mean All-Stars?
considering in
No.
2022 we went to Chezzy Champs over going to Kettering Kickoff, Chezzy Champs.
Mm.
And Michigan State venue, Eastern Michigan or the Deltaplex?
Eastern Michigan.
Yeah. Eastern
Okay.
Michigan was so
Eastern
good.
Michigan.
Yeah, Eastern
Comets.
Michigan was so good.
Comet's Tank or Comet Swerve.
Oh, people are gonna get mad at me for this. I'm gonna say Comet Swerve. Like,
I mean, we understand. We understand. We were just sad.
yeah.
Yeah.
The one question you want to go back to, what was it? Fimstein?
Fimstein versus Einstein?
Einstein was that one?
Oh no, I was just
oh.
saying like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
Sometimes always good, right? Einstein, there's always something insane that happens on Einstein that kind of makes up for the
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
rest
Like,
of it.
I mean, like if you like, I there's so many things where I'll say if you hear me talk enough times, I'll say one of the things I will always say 2016 was the best Einstein of all time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like it had the 330 writing themselves. It had it was frustrating in terms of like for the alliance that lost. It had a tie in finals 3.
Uh-huh.
It would it would have been even better if it got played a third we got a match 4. But you got that. You had Will I Am.
Will I Am, yeah.
So good.
Yeah, you had I think it was that the year that High Rollers won Hall of Fame?
Yeah, High
Yeah.
Rollers, yeah, 2016.
Yeah,
yeah,
yep.
They were a team that people have been saying was overdue for a while.
Yeah. Lots of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, Anthony, for joining us. I know you got a lot left in the tank. So, Pit Crew, if you have any questions for Anthony, make sure to fill out the question form in the description or hit him up on the FIM Discord. Remember to like and subscribe on our YouTube or follow us on Instagram and TikTok. If you want a cameo from Chris or any of our other guests, no promises. Check out our cameo. Make sure to get our new merch. We are doing Pride merch. We've got rainbow, trans, lesbian, and bisexual merch on shop.pitpodcast.com, powered by Royal Shirtery. Anthony, awesome. Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
We'll see you at the competition.
So much for us.